Hello and welcome to this teacher tips video where we try to share some insight on how to best lead this activity with your own group. Students tend to love this project and marvel at some of the science behind it, but it can be a little bit tricky. So the goal by the end of this video is to help get you comfortable and confident with just a few small nuances that tend to pop up here. First of all, this typically is a 2-day project or about 2 hours worth of programming, especially if you take advantage of some of our supplemental resources and curriculum. But as always, there are ways to extend and compress the activity. As far as the videos that we put together go, we strongly recommend that you go ahead and watch those beforehand to familiarize yourself with the project. And take some mental notes of where those videos pause so you can be prepared to ask those inquiry-based learning questions that we pose to the kids. And when those videos are all done, we recommend that you display the gallery section of the project page onto the projector or screen so the kids can see some examples as they're building. While building and testing this project out, the very first step is to build the sides of the scissor lift, and we want to make sure that they are layering those properly, which sets a good foundation for the project, as shown here. And not like this. And in the curriculum videos, we show how to put a little roof on top of the hydraulic lift. One common error we often see is students glue both sides of that roof down. If that's the case, the scissor lift can't close, so make sure they're only gluing one side of that roof. Another tip is there is hot glue in this project, and unfortunately we often see some hot glue drip on to the actual lift and bond two popsicle sticks together. In that case, they're not going to want to move up and the lift is stuck in the locked position. So try to peel that little glue off, and then once you squeeze the syringe, it should be good to go. And like we also mentioned in the video, it's always a good strategy to test this project along the way, so that way we can make sure we're fixing any errors or problems that pop up as they come. What we try to avoid is building the whole project up and then realizing that it doesn't work. All in all, this is an example of one of those projects that's very helpful to reference those how-to sheets on. That how-to sheet does a very good job of explaining things in a step-by-step fashion for students to follow as they go along their build. In the spirit of fostering some fun conversation throughout the class, you can ask them questions like, have you ever done something like this before? Did you realize some of those examples we shared work by hydraulics? Does the science behind hydraulics and pneumatics make sense to you? And you can even try to stir up some competitive spirit, like, who thinks theirs will work the best? When it comes to materials, the contents inside of the hydraulics bin are relatively straightforward. We recommend while the videos are playing to set them out in a buffet style, so once students are done watching the videos and brainstorming, they can come up and grab what they need, take it back to their desk, and then begin. With that being said, it might be an idea to hold back some of the tubing and syringes until they're ready for that part. If the project happens to be running a little early and you need some ideas for how to fill in the time, no worries, here's some tips. And the same thing goes for if you're running late. Here's some ideas for how to speed up the process but still stay on task. When cleaning up, go ahead and put any unused or reusable items back in the bin so we can get them back and recycle them for future projects if necessary. As far as safety goes, there's not a ton here. Please just make sure students are being respectful to one another and using common sense with materials like the hot glue. We ask that they wear the gloves we provide when working with those materials, and also working over the newspaper sheets we provide so we can be respectful to the space that we're in. So thanks a ton for your time and for all that you do for these students. If any questions pop up after watching these videos, please do not hesitate to reach out. Like we said earlier, we want to set you up for success with this activity so you can enjoy it in a stress-free environment and the students have a great time learning about hydraulics.